The Jakes Are Missing is a romantic comedy. The story starts in Johannesburg and then very quickly takes us into one of South Africa's very cool gems, a little town of Clarence. So making a romantic comedy for me was about telling the story from a female's perspective.
There's Janice, the lead character, who's a high-powered lawyer, married to Donald, her architect husband, and they have a teenage son, Simon. And they're all unhappy.
And sometimes we find the right partner that understands, then somewhere along the line you lose track of it. You end up living life apart from each other. You live in the same house, you sleep in the same bed, but how much have you really engaged with each other recently? And so exploring that aspect for me in this film was very important.
When you've been married a long time and you have children, life gets crazy busy and you're so absorbed in so many different things that you tend to forget about love. That's what happened to Janice. She's gotten lost in the mayhem of career, of being a mom, and has neglected the fact that she's also a wife. I don't think we've had a decent conversation in forever.
What does that mean?
It means we don't talk. Fortunately for Janice, she's forced into a situation where she has to realize it. And it's all in her, it's in her face before she makes that detrimental mistake of letting what she loves go.
Well, because they know where you live, the next step will be taking your family to a safe place.
And where is the safe place? It was very interesting playing Janice because she does grow, she does evolve. Her journey is completely different to the characters that I've played before, where it's one sort of evil person who doesn't become better, who doesn't change their evil ways. They're just like constantly evil. And Janice isn't evil. She's just going through a phase in her life where she feels, and I think a lot of women go through this, where she wants to chase her dreams. And she feels that's been stunted because she's had to sort of take on a different role of being a mom and a wife. And women take the back seat when it comes to career. And it's something that happens automatically because we're nurturers, so we could have sort of punish ourselves. Whereas men are like, I'm the provider, I'm gonna go and do this. We neglect that, we're not just one-dimensional. So yeah, she, that was interesting for me because she goes through this arc in the movie where she realizes like, hey, I haven't been such a great person, and it's not the fault of these people around me, it's my fault. So therefore, the change has to come from me in order to find my happiness again.
The story about the Jakes Are Missing is that we're a family, and our son becomes a little bit naughty, sneaks off, and gets himself into a bit of trouble. And then they take us away for a witness protection thing. And that was actually very fun. It was a nice experience to go away into a small town, even though that's also portrayed in the movie, to actually be in a small town, which was great. I found a lot of similarities in Donald and myself, and it was a great pleasure playing Donald. And also learned a lot from Donald about, maybe being too focused on work and not keeping your eye on the family unit. You're so focused on your career and trying to move ahead that you can ignore and miss the person that you're with, that you sleep with every day, spend time with every day, but then you're not really paying attention to their emotions, how they feel. He has this attention from these ladies, and he comes home to his wife and he sees this person here who's actually sick of him, fed up with him, and wants a divorce. So this situation kind of hurt Donald a lot. He sees in her eyes tiresome of him, because the old saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
With the reaction from these people, Janice realized, hey, wait a minute, my man's a stud, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing anymore? And it wakes you up to that reality.
Show me the chip. Last night we staked out a transaction, but everything went wrong. Search this guy. Hey! Go! Mister, the kid!
Simon is a very musically inclined student. He is very passionate about his talents, which are music. When it starts out, Simon hadn't necessarily been in love before. His first love has always been music. Sometimes it's very difficult following your own plans when your parents have set aside something for you and will always advise you to do something else.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just don't want you guys to, divorce.
Simon lives in a household where his parents don't, well, act like as though he doesn't see what's happening around him. However, he sees everything, and this makes him very sad because, first of all, he's the only child, so he doesn't have anyone else to talk to. And he's in a new town, and the only person that he kind of relates to is Paige. Well, the first time Simon meets Paige, he goes bazookas, he goes bananas because he doesn't understand what he's seeing in front of him. He's just seeing this girl who just looks like she just walked out of a magazine cover, or who just comes from Wonderland, because like there's just something that happens in his head and he can't believe it and he doesn't understand it, and that's the beauty of seeing Simon, well, being in love for the first time.
The two different love developments in the movie, at least in the script when I first read it, I found, as you mentioned, the mature love, and then the young love, you know, the innocence, the naivety, the ambition, and that we find in The Jakes Are Missing. I found I was able to try and add some subtleties into some scenes with Simon and with Paige, and also with Janice and Donald and their struggles. We've also seen that, or at least I did with my parents growing up, that relationships are complicated. So finding the serious, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's light, and different personalities will try and make light, or it'll be, you know, moments of anxiety. You might find yourself isolated or whatever. And in that scene, I was just trying to bring out either the comedy or the seriousness or the lightness in their interaction with one another.
We got a problem. The Jakes are missing.
My next run is in Madagascar. You, my friend, you can run the whole show. Be the boss.
Yo, Madagascar. Where's that?
I think to many, the impression is that Fred is the ultimate bad guy. But the reality is, in the land of the blind, one eye is king, you know. Fred has surrounded himself with buffoons. Clyde and Fester, and what they have to do is simply go and collect a microchip. I think the one thing that's indicative of Fred is that he's put all his eggs in one basket. He's backed one horse, and the horse turns out to be a donkey.
It is.
Oh, hello, sir. When we find that there's something to be done, we'll take it on
100%
to do it. We are the ones that welcome the Jakes.
Absolutely. And we make sure. That's why I was concerned when Donald wasn't eating. You know what I mean? It's like, because you can see what's going on. And you hear in the salon what's going down, like they're eating takeaway or whatever.
And we're trying to make them, you know, part of the community.
Yeah. Absolutely, we did. That was our whole purpose, to make them feel at home.
Because we know everything that happens.
Yes, I guess that cuts minding your own business. That does not happen.
We know it's our job to know the business.
Exactly. We keep the community together, believe me.
Definitely.
Like,
we don't gossip.
No.
It's just our responsibility to know, you know, what's happening in the town.
It's not our fault that she was so distant and totally. Yes, exactly.
Parrot.
Yes,
fake.
Yes.
Very fake.
Yes, and not eating.
Yeah,
clearly
all
not
the time.
eating. I mean,
what are you running away from?
Not correct. Thank you. And you see, that's my thing in life. You shouldn't run away from stuff. You should run towards them.
I was asking a lot of questions about this character. How did she end up there? Like, what happened?
Exactly. And wearing this clothing. You know what I mean?
You know, and how did the three end up together?
Yeah. Like, how did we become friends?
And this one, Phil, they knows that obviously Candy is very, you know, fashionable and stylish. Yes. And I think at some level she's like, I'm the diva of the town.
Yes, I do think
I'm not going anywhere because there's no competition here.
Yeah. The best part was that we got to dress up so fabulously and there was like nowhere to go.
For me, I was like, these people, how did they hang, like how did they end up together? You know, I felt
because
sorry
they're so
for
different.
the guy.
Yeah.
Because Janice, I'm
She's a total
sorry.
cow.
Thank you.
Shame.
You know, and he's so nice.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Oh my God.
The
he's
Donald
so nice.
character was really, he was a really nice character.
Yes.
We all
Yeah.
really liked him.
Yes.
Well, not like mine was a bit special. But
Of course.
Sally, have you finished that article on clothes for me?
No, please not now, Nancy. Jenny's right. You do have a glow on your face.
She does, eh? Okay, maybe, I might have run into someone.
Nancy is very driven and very ambitious. I mean, out of a small town, she's looking to have her own television show. So she's got big dreams for herself. And obviously the men in Pumpkin Valley, the few that there are, don't ever match up to her dreams and expectations. And then she walks bang into Donald. That's just chemistry and sparks flying. And then the motor mouth she is, with absolutely no filter, she runs off to her friends and just goes and goes and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks herself to both feet in her mouth while Janice is right there.
Who? Mr. Max.
I am just
so excited to do a new Max.
Pope and I have crossed paths many times whilst living in Cape Town, and I mean, he doesn't remember me, but I definitely remember him. It's hard not to remember a man that looks like that. Not really my type, but it wasn't hard to fake any chemistry there.
Catch the Jakes nationwide in cinema nation.
Okay.
Catch the Jakes nationwide in cinema. 23 October. Catch the Jakes in cinema nationwide on 23 October. Amen.